3.2 million on YouTube. I have 7.1 million on Instagram. Yeah, it's
And
pretty.
so is this like what you thought it would be? Like
It sounds cocky, but I knew I was meant for it.
What's up, guys? It's Justin Kahn. Welcome to my podcast, The Quest, where I dive into the ups and downs of trailblazers around me to help you figure out life and get to where you want to be. Before we start, smash subscribe and bang that bell for unfiltered conversations on tech, entertainment, and wellness every Tuesday. Today, my guest is Bryce Hall. Have you ever wondered what life is like when you have 25 million followers at the age of 21? Well, it's not that easy. If you want to get started on TikTok, watch this and learn from one of the best in the game. Here's Bryce.
Dude, what's up? How's it going, man?
Hey, what's up, dude?
It's good to see you. I'm excited to do this.
Yeah, thanks for having me on the podcast.
Absolutely. All right. Well, we could just dig in, and we first met, as by way of intro for the people out there. We first met when you had me on your podcast, and I really enjoyed the conversation because it really brought up a bunch of stuff for me about trying to be popular online back in the day. I'm a lot older than you. And so I wanted to cover that and get started with just how you came to be Bryce Hall as you are today. What's the origin story?
Okay, so it's actually interesting because we kind of came up the same way with your live broadcasting of your life for how long was it?
It was 6 months. I broadcasted for 6 months. Yeah.
Yeah, see, I didn't do that. I just live broadcasted, like I think 2 hours at a time. But I started on a live broadcasting platform called YouNow, and I used to go on that website because I didn't have friends in high school. So I just went on YouNow to make friends initially. And then I started gaining a lot more of an audience as I broadcasted more, becoming one of the top influencers on the platform. And then eventually YouNow died, along with a lot of other live broadcasting platforms. So I moved over to Musically, which was TikTok, or which is TikTok now, but Musically was filmed different. It was like, like this handheld, completely. And I became one of the top influencers on that platform as well.
So how did it, just going back to you now though, like what was that first, inflection point where you were like, this is working. I'm becoming popular. Was it when you got on, was it first just to meet people and make friends, or was there some idea of like, I can be an influencer on this platform?
There was no interest in being an influencer. It was
Yeah.
just to make friends. And then I built it up to over 1,000 concurrent viewers, and like at a time, it was actually pretty big. Like I think the top broadcasters on YouNow had like a total of 10,000 viewers. Like that was top tier.
Yeah.
But I was getting over 1,000, 2,000 viewers. Like it was pretty
And what were
insane.
you doing? Why were people tuning in?
I just talked. I literally talked. That I did challenges. I was jumping off my balcony onto the ground. I was just a weird 14-year-old kid.
So you were 14, people started logging on. They were like, this kid's interesting. He's willing to just do random shit to make it fun for us. And that kind of grew this audience.
Yeah, and it was interesting because it became monetized like 4 months after I initially hopped on. So I didn't know you could make money from it until it became monetizable. Everyone was trying to get this like partnership. They're like, I want to get partnered so I can make money on this platform, but I wasn't doing it for that. And I think my first check was $2,500 as a 14-year-old kid. And my mom was like, what the hell? What the hell is this? And I was like, I don't know.
She was like, what are you doing online?
Yeah. Yeah. I was like, I'm going to go shopping though. And I spent literally all of my money in the first like 3 days. It was pretty funny.
And then, so that got you into the idea that like, hey, this could be a business or a career or something I'm doing to make money.
Yeah. I wasn't looking at it as a business opportunity. I was looking at it as I'm having fun and I'm making money from it.
That's so cool. And tell me about the experience of being popular online, or like having that audience, and what that felt like, and like what was appealing about it to you.
Well, having 2,000 concurrent viewers at a time, it's like I did get that sense of like butterflies in my stomach. and I was nervous to talk in front of that many people, and I couldn't even see them. But then I got over that fear of, like, people are watching me, but I was literally just being myself. I was being a normal 14-year-old kid, but just being like a little crazy. Like no one was doing what I was doing. It was like a little edgy. And back then on social media, being edgy was not socially acceptable. And I've been doing that since I was 14, and I still am an edgy, quote unquote, controversial influencer. But I would say I also preach I'm not an influencer. I'm a content creator. I literally am here for entertainment purposes only, and I encourage everyone that watches me not to do the shit that I do.
That's a healthy disclaimer. I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, so it was working, and YouNow was working until it didn't work, and it died. And I'm actually curious. This is more as the Twitch founder, in me, I'm like, okay, why did it die? What about it made it die? I don't know if that's going to be relevant to most people listening to podcasts, but I'm curious,
Yeah, no, this is around the 2015, 2016 era. I don't know. I feel like creators got over the live streaming thing, and that goes along with every other app that comes into the factor. Like Vine died. It just gets old.
Yeah, so there's this constant something new, and then what was new was Musically at the time, and I remember my friend, I know the guy who made it, and then one of the guys who's the main investor, and I didn't get it when I heard about it. This is how fucking old I am. I heard about it, and I was like, I don't get it, right? So what brought you on that platform, and like how did you discover what worked there?
I saw people blowing up on it, so I literally hopped on ASAP. I think Lauren Gray, Jacob Sartorius, Duds Mark. These creators are, you wouldn't know them, but I saw these people blowing up, and I was like, this platform is so easy. It's like lip syncing. I'm going to do it. And I became one of the top creators of Musically. And then I quit because I hated the concept of it. So it was still blowing up when I quit. I just quit because I hated it. And I moved over to YouTube. And then Musically turned into TikTok. And then I hopped back on TikTok.
And then on YouTube, like, how did you find the content that resonated? Like, did people follow you to all these platforms as you go on Musically and you go to YouNow and say, hey, I'm on Musically now, and then you'd go from Musically to YouTube and say, hey, I'm on YouTube now. Like, did people follow you, or how did you figure out what content resonated with the audience on those platforms?
What was interesting with Musically is because on YouNow, I think I gained up to 250,000 followers, peaked on Instagram. So it didn't convert crazy. And then when I hopped on Musically, I wasn't like a known face yet, but people were commenting in the comments like, hey, I recognize you from YouNow. And I'm like, yeah, that's me.
I'm back. And then when you went to YouTube, like, was it the same thing?
Yeah.
And so how did you, I think what's pretty interesting is I've seen people resonate on one platform or another. And then now it's like everybody's on every platform. And the thing that works on every platform is different, right? It's different kinds of content. It's different format. On YouTube, your shows are like, I've been watching them as preparation for our podcast. They're like 5 minutes long. There's kind of a format. There's kind of an editing style that works. It's different for your TikToks, which I also have been watching. Yeah. And so, like, how do you hone in on what works on each platform?
So I'm very high energy. That's just how I am. I've always been high energy, ADHD my whole life. So what I've seen, the Paul brothers are a perfect example. The high energy vlogs and that style does really well, but they used to do it long form. So like 12 to 15 minute videos, and that's what YouTube used to favor. They used to favor watch time and like audience retention, like all that type of stuff. And then as audience retention started to go down, with I guess Gen Z just not being able to watch something for more than 5 minutes, I edited my vlogs and I changed my style of vlogs to 5 minutes, like 5-6 minutes. So it's not too long, but I also put 3 different concepts in my vlogs, like 3 different crazy things that I do in my vlogs. I don't know if you've seen that, but I start with a very hype intro to catch the audience eye. So they're like, whoa, why is this kid so hype? What the hell is he doing? And then I move to the first activity, second, and third. But a normal YouTube format is boring intro, climax, and then boring ending. I do 3 entertaining things throughout my vlog and end on a climax.
I love it. And it's interesting because I think when people watch your videos? Like if someone old like me, sadly, what would watch your video without knowing you would think, okay, this is just like, I don't get it, right? Like it doesn't, I don't get that there's a format that you've like worked on and perfected and iterated over time. So how did you like, I guess it sounds like you were just paying attention to what was working and experimenting. Was that
Mhm.
kind of how you discovered it?
I was looking at a style that nobody was doing, but I also have always been very high energy throughout all my YouTube videos. And I always had that concept. Actually, I adapted the concept about a year ago of 3 different activities to do in my videos, not just one. Everyone has a clickbait and they always lead up to it, and that's the climax. I wanted to do 3 different things that could be clickbait worthy, but pick the best within that.
Gotcha. And like, so now, man, I have so many questions. I love this. So now you've made it, right? You've got 15 million. Is that right on TikTok?
Yeah, 16.
16 million. Let's get right. I think it's 6.6 million on YouTube as of this morning,
No, I
or
have
sorry, on Instagram.
3.2 million on YouTube. I have 7.1 million on Instagram. Yeah, it's
And
pretty.
so is this like what you thought it would be? Like what did you think it would be like to be internet famous before you actually became internet famous? And then now that you are internet famous, like how's it different than you thought it would be?
It sounds cocky, but I knew I was meant for it. I saw other people succeeding and I didn't find them entertaining. So I wanted to do social media, but I wanted to do it the best. And I'm not even done. I'm not even close to where I want to be.
Well, so what did you think it would be like? I'm just so curious. Like today, like these, stars, content creators on social platforms are bigger than movie stars were, when I was growing up, right? Like there's this window that people love of like seeing you every day in your life, kind of feeling like your friends or something, right? I mean, I'd love for you to explain it to me, but like one of my co-founder, the CEO of Twitch, Emmett, he's told me once, he was like, Twitch is like methadone for social connections. It's like you feel like you're there with the person, and I get the feeling that this huge audience of young people feels like they're there with you. Like living in the sway house and like being part of your experience. And so, what is that like?
So social media keeps changing. It keeps growing bigger and bigger. And people keep saying that this is not a career, like it won't last. But the 7 years that I've been on it, it just keeps growing. People keep downloading these social media apps that everyone's on their phone. Everyone's addicted to their phone. So this like space I'm in, I don't even know how long it's going to last. I think it's going to last a very, very long time. So when I was first starting social media, the top creators had like 1 million followers on Instagram. So when I was 14, I was looking at the MagCon boys. And I don't know if you know who they are, but it was like Cameron Dallas, Sean Mendez, Nash Greer, Hayes Greer, like all those kids. And they were the biggest of the big, like untouchable in that time. But now where I am, I'm 10 times bigger than they were, but I'm not even the top creator. Charlie D'Amelio, Addison, like all these people, they're the top creator. They're getting 5 million plus Instagram likes. Like that's
Yeah,
like Kylie Jenner level. Like that's the Kardashians level. So it's like social media influencers are becoming the next celebrity, if that makes any sense.
for sure. I think for sure. Is there a little bit? Is there a grind to always, to wondering where the next platform is going to be? I mean, you have to do a lot to stay on top, right, and to keep the audience engaged and go where the audience is. Like, how does that play into your experience?
So I've been on for 7 years. I've seen 3 different generations, and there's usually a 2 year gap between each generation. So it was Vine, and then it was YouTube, and then it was Musically, then it was back to YouTube, and then it was TikTok, and it's TikTok right now. So I'm on all platforms, and what I've seen is it always goes back to YouTube. So I'm already established on YouTube. I'm already ready.
Do you think there'll be something? I mean, there's probably going to be something else after, in a couple of years,
Yeah,
right?
and you know damn well I'll be the first one on it.
That makes sense. So, like, what's the day to day like? What's a day in the life of Bryce Hall?
I wake up around 8. I work out around 8:30 or 9, depending on the day. If it's a work day, I do my first calls around 10 a.m. all the way to 6 p.m. to 7. And usually after that, it's a dinner with another important person. And if it's not a meeting day, then it's a film day. And we start filming from 10 a.m. all the way till 6 p.m. And it could go even later than that.
To
So
make the
like my
content
film,
for, yeah.
yeah. So like my film days are Mondays, Sundays, Saturdays, and Thursdays. And then everything else is meetings, like meetings. Today's like a meeting day, and that's why like we're doing a great podcast right now.
Awesome. So you're spending 4 days a week, uh, 8 hours a day to make the content.
Technically Sunday's an off day, but I've like for all the Sway Boys, Sunday's like off day. I don't take the off day. I don't
Yeah.
like it. I don't like doing nothing.
And how much content does that make? You know, like are you, you're doing a couple of vlogs a week or?
We usually in that one day, because Josh and I have the same filming days, we usually knock out a vlog each one of our filming days. So we each knock out one vlog on those filming days.
And then all the other platforms like Instagram and TikTok, are you just doing that in between or?
Like we can do that anytime. Like I'm gonna go up after this podcast and take an Instagram photo for tomorrow. But it's like a work day, but like I don't consider that really work. It's an Instagram picture. And TikTok, same thing. It's like 15 seconds. You're just going in front of a camera and doing a trend.
Is it tough to always be thinking about content?
Yes.
So tell me about that process. Like, because it must be, you're doing 4 days a week. It must be hard to like continuously be producing stuff.
And what makes it even harder is I do 3 different crazy things each vlog. So it's like I'm basically filming 3 videos a day, like 3 different YouTube videos a day. So yeah, it does get hard. David Dobrik did it. Logan Paul, Jake Paul, every big successful YouTuber did it, and they always go through a content block. I've hit a few of those, but it always usually comes to me. So when I have like the camera, me and my videographer / editor, we always brainstorm right before we film, and it usually just comes to us. It's actually so random. Every time we do something, it like just pops in our head, like as we're about to just film.
So you don't know, you'll start a day, you don't know what you're going to do. It's just the 3 of you. And then you just figure it out. You're doing something.
So I don't know if you saw my, my mom coming to LA vlog. I surprised her with a circus. We thought of that literally at 7 a.m. So I ordered everything that day and got everything there like within 3 hours to 4 hours.
You ordered a whole circuit. So I didn't see the vlog. You surprised your mom with like a full-on circus.
I hired actors, clowns, strippers. I had stripper poles. I had a taco truck. I had bouncy houses. I had carnival games, like one of those hammer things. And I literally set it up in 3-4 hours and got it to my house.
How did you do? Was it just you and your team like just went and did it?
Yeah.
And like that's so fresh. So how do you, I mean, it's so different from like a traditional production, right? Where they have everything planned and they're like, we're gonna, there's a call time and like everybody has like a specific job on set. And you're just like, you guys, it's you and friends of yours, I guess, who you've hired or your team that you've built.
So I have my assistant, Rafi. She does all the calls and then uses my cards to pay for everything. And then I have J-Rod, who has this certified casting. That's what the agency is called. And we hire these actors for just my YouTube videos to play a part in my video just for that bit.
Yeah.
And then I have Michael setting up like celebrity meetups. So like I just did something with Sugar Ray Leonard for my recent video that I just posted like an hour ago.
Yeah.
He set that up, and so did Triller, like the whole team. So that was random. And then I got to box with Sugar Ray Leonard. So that was pretty sick.
That's awesome. Are you a boxer?
I wouldn't say I'm a boxer, but I wrestled, and then I have some experience in boxing.
All right. So like, how do you know, when do you know if something's going to work? Or do you ever like, does content ever just like not work? Like an idea that you had, you try to execute it and then it kind of falls apart, or like, how's that happen?
I usually know when the video is going to do well or not.
Yeah.
I can tell just by like the content and my clickbait. It's mainly clickbait because I know there's that huge viral saying, don't judge a book by its cover, but YouTube, it is literally that. People judge it by the cover. And if you don't have a good clickbait, it's not going to do well. It doesn't matter how good the vlog is. If you have a shitty clickbait, it's not going to perform as good.
So it's like the caption, the title, and then the
Thumbnail.
thumbnail. And so like that one, it's on your channel. That's like the chapstick challenge with Addison. I was watching that one. I was laughing to myself as I watched it because in this video, you do the vlog, and then at the end of it, which I guess is your third act video, it's like you guys doing the chapstick challenge, which is like trying on different flavors of chapstick, and then everybody in the audience, myself included, was waiting for that kiss or whatever,
Yeah, the anticipation.
And that was, I guess that was like a a natural draw into the video, and so
Yeah.
you have like an intuitive sense of what's going to work in that set, like to the audience, and what's not going to. Do you ever scrap a video if it doesn't work?
No, I always keep it up. I always think my content's good enough, and I want to eventually develop a strong millions of fans, like to not only click for that clickbait. I want them to see the production, see like the quality of the content in the video, and then be like, oh, these videos are dope.
So, how do you think you get there? Like, because you must have a ton of hardcore fans who are really into whatever you do. Like, you don't feel like you're there yet.
No,
What do you think that? How did you get there?
I think as I keep posting more, it's gonna happen. Because there's no YouTubers right now that are like David Dobrik quit. Logan Paul doesn't post anymore. Like all the real good YouTubers don't really post anymore. I mean, obviously there's Nelk and Danny Duncan and like a bunch of others that get 4 or 5 million views a video, but there's no one that's like at that top spot. I mean, there's like different categories in YouTube. Like James Charles gets over 10 million views a video, but that's like makeup stuff. So there's obviously an audience that's watching that type of stuff. I feel like they would like my stuff.
Yeah.
So I just have to somehow reach that audience. Like Mr. Beast is getting 24 million, 25 million views a video, like every single video. Like there's obviously more people to reach. Reaching it is the challenge.
Do you think? I feel like a lot of the guys who have been doing the vlogging do quit. I don't know if PewDiePie came back, but he quit at one point, right?
He's still daily uploading.
Yeah, but like people get burned out of it, right? Like it's tough to think of content every day and then be on the grind. And if you don't do it one day, then your views fall off. Like, do you worry about that, or do you take vacations?
I don't. I haven't taken a break in probably 9 months.
Yeah.
I'm 9 months strong doing it like 2 times a week.
Wow. And so, do you worry about your burnout? Do you ever think you'll get there?
I think if I reach a burnout, it's coming soon. But I don't think it's going to discourage me. I think it's going to make me work harder.
Sometimes it's like when I was younger working on, I mean, when I was trying to make the content, which was not good. My content was terrible compared to your content. I remember just like it became a grind at one point. It was like really tough to just like keep going with broadcasting, and that was not something I was like, I want to quit this, and I eventually did. We pivoted into a platform, but I wonder what about you makes you able to like keep going and like and keep creating content like day after day.
I think it was the way I was raised. I've always wanted to succeed and be the best at what I do, that I'm passionate about at least.
Yeah. And where does that come from? What do you think your parents did right to like make you instill those values in you?
I never had a dad, but my mom always just was supportive of everything I was doing. Even if I wasn't making money on it at first, she was always like happy to see me being happy doing something that I love.
And your mom's been a big part of your life and like supporting you through this journey. Like when did she when did she say like, okay, you should do, I'm sure when you told your mom at first, hey, I'm going to do this full time, like this is my thing, like she must have been surprised, right? Like when did
I did.
she, what
I
happened? How
moved
did I,
I moved out to LA right after I graduated high school, with $5,000 in my bank account. So I had maybe, and I had rent that was $1,000 a month. So I had 5 months rent. And I said, Mom, trust, I'll make money. And she's like, okay, I'm just really nervous for you. I'm like, just trust me. I got it. I'm like 17. Like I'm literally 17 when I moved out. Um,
did you know anyone?
yeah, I had a manager at the time who screwed me over, but at the same time, I made money with him. So, I mean, even if he stole a lot of money from me, I still made money. I got $50,000 on this tour 2 months from being in LA. I got a tour offer, which is like you go around the United States and then meet fans. I got a $50,000 check, and I was like, okay, there, I'm set for a little bit.
So you knew it was going to happen. Like you got to LA, you were creating videos, and like you knew I guess you must have known like LA is where it's at for content creation. That's where you wanted to be
Mhm.
after high school. And then you got this tour. Like what was the, like how, what was the process of kind of establishing yourself after that?
That was in 2017. So in 2017, I was just hopping off of Musically, transitioning over to YouTube. So I didn't know what type of content I wanted to do on YouTube at the time. I wasn't making the best money. I got that one check, but I was making probably 2 grand a month, if that. Um, it was honestly like a discouraging time because I wasn't growing on social media. I didn't see any growth anywhere across all of my platforms, and I was like, "What the hell do I do?" And this is now 2018, where it's like there's no growth, and it stayed. It was growing a little bit. Like I would grow 1,000 followers a day on each platform. It was like 1,000 followers, but that's not enough to sustain anything. Um, TikTok. I saw TikTok in 2019, so it was a year period where I literally had no motivation. I was like, what am I doing wrong? And then I saw TikTok and I saw the concept and I was good at Musically. I was one of the top creators on Musically. I was like, I'm just going to hop over here. And it worked.
So what kept you going during that year period where things weren't, it wasn't growing? You were making okay money. You were making enough to survive, but it wasn't like exploding. So what kept you going?
I always thought I was going to be successful. I've never like had in my mind a doubt in my mind where I wouldn't succeed in this area.
You were like, I just have to find the right
Right
formula
thing.
yeah.
Yeah, like I'm too different from everybody else in social media. Like I'm way different. So it's like if people, like if a certain audience that doesn't know me sees what I can do, I trust I can get them to like me.
And so then what was the process of discovering what that exactly was on TikTok and breaking out there?
Well, I saw like the Sway Boys before I knew them. I saw them exploding on the app with engagement that was unseen from the years I've been doing social media. Like they had 600,000 followers getting 300,000 likes on Instagram. That is like unheard of activity. So I was like, I'm gonna hop on this platform and literally do this. Like I can do that. They're literally just looking cute in front of a camera. I'm like, I can do this.
You're like, I got this. So then that was it. So finding the right platform Musically, looking cute on camera, investing in working out a lot, the shirtless workout photos and videos, I guess. And
Yeah,
then that started to work.
yeah. But the difference is like the Sway Boys have personality, which is hard to see on TikTok. Not a lot of TikTok creators have real personality. They're very camera shy.
Yeah.
That's not a few. Well, there's actually a lot of Sway Boys that are still camera shy, but a few of us, like a good chunk of us, we're not camera shy and we're not scared to show our personality on social media. And I feel like that's what people like. We're authentic.
And how do you show that authenticity or connect with fans in that authentic way?
On TikTok, it's a little harder, but TikTok's based off of dancing. I'm sure you know.
Yeah.
I don't dance. I suck at dancing personally. I do joke ass dances. Like I'll go extremely hard on some of these dances and like obviously troll it. And then I'll do duets, like trolling people that hate on me. Like it's just a lot of stuff that I do that's different.
So, like, how do you, one thing I've been curious about is like, what do old people not get about social, like what's like to be a content creator today and the world of content creators and what this life is?
I think you said it yourself. It's a grind.
Yeah.
It is. It might not look like it because it's just posting on social media, but they only see what's posted on social media.
And you're working like a tremendous amount behind the scenes to make
Yeah.
those videos, to make the content. Um, what, like, how does it grow from here? Like, where does it go from here for you?
I think my goal is to be A-list. I want to be in a movie. I want to act. I want to host. I want to do I want to do a 21 Jump Street. I want to feature on SNL. I want to do like these types of things.
The interesting thing, the funny thing is like, um, I kind of, I get it because I was like, when we were, creating our startup and whatever, we're growing up, it was blowing up like Twitch. It was super cool when we got featured in like the New York Times or something like that, right? Like something that was like legitimate that like, my parents read or people knew about. But in a way, what you're already doing is the future, right? Like actually where all the young people are is on like on TikTok watching you or Instagram or YouTube. Um, or they're like on Twitch, right? Like that's where people are who are like that's where more and more of the time mind share is going. It's like not on SNL. And so I wonder if like it's funny to me because it occurs to me that like that's actually like you're shooting for something that like you're already past in a way, or like if you just keep growing on like TikTok 50 years from now, someone's gonna be like, that's where I want to be, is like,
Yeah.
I want to be famous on social media or whatever.
And that goes back to what I was saying. Like TikTok and social media in general, we're the new celebrities. And it sounds like cocky, but we we show more of our personality. People see us more than actors. They see the actors in a movie and then they don't really remember an actor's name or something. But like there's no acting on social media. Like it's like you're the personality, you're the show.
Yep. Is there a downside to that at all?
Everything is well here I'll just give an example. Myself personally, um, because I have no filter and I don't care what people think of me. News outlets hate that. So I'll do something like slightly fucked up that other creators have done. Mine gets highlighted. My actions get highlighted across all these news outlets like New York Times, TMZ, like all these people. They just want to bring me down.
And do you think that's, I found with Twitch, right, as an example, when we tell people about it back in like 2013, 2014, people would be like, that's stupid, right? That's not a thing, whether it was investors, but also like in the media, people would be like shocked. Actually, I remember 14 years ago when I was started Justin TV, I'm trying to stream my life. Uh, I went on the Today Show, and Ann Curry was like, "What does your mom think?" They were very like dismissive because they were just like, "This is stupid." And I feel like that is a natural reaction from the establishment media when they come across something they don't understand, right? Like they're like, "Oh, TikTok is just music videos." It's like, or people lip syncing, and they don't get it, and so there's this like dismissiveness that happens. I guess that you've probably experienced a lot yourself.
Yeah, nobody takes us serious. Media, people outside of our fans, like nobody takes us serious. So I'm a huge advocate for proving my haters wrong. Even growing in high school, like growing up in high school, getting bullied, I've always wanted to prove people wrong. I wanted people to eat their words.
Yeah. And do you feel like you've done it now, or do you have feel like you have more to go?
I'm always gonna feel like I have more to go, but I feel like I've already done it. People definitely know me. Like in all the college students, all the people from my high school definitely have the app TikTok. Who doesn't have the app TikTok? They see me on their For You page all the time, and I bet that just is like, oh, I fucking hate that kid.
So, one other question. So I had a couple of years ago, I was like kind of popular in Silicon Valley for making content on Snapchat. And I recognize a lot of the things that you do. You know, you're high energy. You know how to like make it the video pop, right? Like in the introduction, when I was making Snapchat stories, I'd make them about like business and startups, right? Which is kind of, it's not a mainstream appeal subject, but I'd be like, what up snaps? And I'd really get energy into the video and I'd be talking about like, here's how you raise money for your startup. But it'd be like in a like a short clip, like stories format, like more exciting way than like, you know, most VCs are old, they're boring, whatever, right? So they would appeal to this younger audience. Um, and one of the things that was a downside for me when I was doing this though was at first it was really fun. I was just like creating them for myself almost. It was like high energy, and I was like I really liked doing it. And then after like 6 months or so, it got to the point where I was kind of just thinking like, what are people gonna like? And I was so in my head about what other people would resonate with or would like. It kind of stopped being as fun for me.
It started off as you doing it for fun. I think that's with every social media creator. They fall into that. It's like
Yeah.
it almost feels like a job, and you're not as motivated to do it because you don't have that passion, because it eventually evolves into something that you're not passionate about.
Yeah. So how do you mitigate that risk, right? How do you avoid that for yourself?
I really don't. I've always stayed true to like what I think is entertaining, and what I love is being like how I am. I don't think I'm ever going to change.
So, I mean, you're not doing it, you're not in your head about like what's going to work so much with the audience. And you're just more like, this is what I want to do.
It goes back to what I was saying. It's just so different. Like I do it different. So it's like I'm not following the same path as the typical social media creator, going family friendly and doing deals with Target and like Walmart. Granted, we're getting Annie in Target. I mean in Walmart, like, or at least we're in the talks with it. So I mean, I guess we're technically doing something with Walmart, but like that path will drive you crazy unless you actually are a family friendly person. But I know Disney stars are like snorting coke off of like strippers' asses, and they like they have to hide it and stuff. I mean, I don't do that either, but I'm saying like they hide all their true colors, and it drives them insane that they have to put on this persona for an audience that they're trying to appeal to.
So for you, it sounds, what I'm hearing is like, it's about being authentic to what you want to do and just always doing that and not worrying about like changing for the audience.
I mean, is there's no book on social media. There's no one like telling you how to do it, except all these people, all these older people, old management companies and agencies telling you how you should act a certain way. But how the hell would they know? There wasn't social media when they were kids. They've never seen like a Justin Bieber on social media before. Like it's just there's no book. So like create your own.
That's interesting. Yeah, that's interesting. How have you? I guess everyone who's on a creator who's made it work so far has done that, right? They've gone through the process where they've created their own playbook. They've like discovered, they've experimented. One thing I really like about the people, you know, the social media is that, and people who are content creators is like they're very entrepreneurial, right? They're in a way they're like experimenting, and like how do you keep it? How do you keep experimenting in the face of like you have a formula that works, you know?
The successful ones did it right. I can give a good example. David Dobrik did it great. Granted, he quit YouTube or whatever. Um, he didn't follow a book. He did a different style that everyone loved eventually. It wasn't driving numbers at first, but then eventually it worked. He was just keeping to that same style, that 4 minute and 20 second setup. Like he has 4 minute and 20 second videos. Like they're action packed, all energy. He's never in front of the camera. He's always behind it, filming his friends. Like it was almost like you're watching a documentary of his life, but just really sped up.
Yeah, that's so interesting. Cool. Well, like, so what's the future now? Now you're starting to get into business. You're thinking about like the business career. What does that look like? And how did you think of like how did you start being interested in the business side?
Um, I saw I mentioned it earlier in this podcast, the MagCon boys. When I said I was 14 and I saw these kids super successful, and now that I'm like bigger than them, social media keeps growing. They're all broke now. Like all of
Yeah.
them are struggling, like super bad, and I feel terrible for them. But they're not gonna come back, and they're gonna have to live off of the money they made unless they blew it all, which most of them have. The only one that came out successful was Shawn Mendes. And I didn't want to be like that. I don't want to be like that at all. And I've always been interested in investments because I have a good amount of money just sitting in my bank account. So it's like, why the hell am I just letting all this money just sit here when the dollar is depreciating? Like it's literally going down. The dollar value is going down.
So how did you get started with investing? Like, what was your first, like, how did you even enter the world?
Huge shout out to Michael Gruen. Michael Gruen got me hooked in or looped in with all, like, even someone like you, just like small tech companies, all the most successful billionaires in the world, like just giving me great advice. Like yesterday, was it, when we talked on the phone, you were giving awesome advice, and we get different advice from each billionaire basically. So it's like good to just hear these people and how they did it and then how we can do it.
And what does success in business look like for you? Like, I know that you guys are creating your own products with like the Annie Energy and your clothing line. Like, it seems like it's really resonating with your audience. What do you want to go from here?
I mean, I'm just going to keep investing. I'm building Annie with my team, and I want it to exit pretty high. I want this to be a unicorn. I'm pretty confident it will be too, especially if it goes in Walmart, because everyone that's tasted it loves it, and there hasn't been any negative reviews on the product, and that was step one. If it was a shitty product, like even I don't know how Bang Energy did it, because Bang Energy does not taste good in my opinion. Red Bull doesn't taste good in my opinion. This is an actual energy drink that has 75 milligrams of caffeine, and it tastes good.
What was the process of developing the product? Like, how did you decide you wanted to do it? And then how did you figure out how to make an energy? I actually, true story, I wanted to make an energy drink when I was like starting Justin TV, actually. So it's kind of funny, but you actually did it. How did you end up doing it?
So it goes back to my YouTube videos. I was always high energy. People always commented, I want to match Bryce's energy. I want to be like him, all this types of stuff. I was shotgunning Red Bulls in my videos because I wasn't 21 at the time. And that kind of gave everyone the idea of like why I have so much energy. It's because I shotgun energy drinks. And then I realized it became a trend on TikTok and on YouTube when people would try to mimic a day in the life of Bryce Hall to shotgun Red Bull. And we were giving Red Bull all this free promotion. They were shipping us like free cans and stuff, and that's dope and all. But why the hell am I giving them so much promotion? Why don't I create my own energy drink? And it's literally short for animal. And it goes along with my party animal apparel brand.
And so, how did you get it started, and how did you launch it?
So I went to Michael and I said, I want to create my own energy drink. And he's like, it's oversaturated. I was like, dude, I shotgun Red Bulls every single video. I'm giving Red Bull all this free promotion. I don't want to sell my soul to Bang Energy like every other creator and get like $300,000 and then exit after a year. I want to create my own and then eventually sell it. So Michael Gruen contacted one of his good friends, Evan Burns, who created Long Drink. Have you heard it? Have you heard of it?
No.
Long Drink is this alcoholic beverage, and he exited, I think, at 300 million or something like that. And it was like, it's not a popular drink, but it exited for 300 mil. So
Yeah.
it's like he already had the connects, all the distributors. He had like everything already ready. So we got this executed in like 4 months. We got the can, we got the taste tests, we got everything done in like 4 months.
And then that was it. You were like, okay,
Yeah.
we like it, we love it. I'm going to launch it on the channel. And how's it going?
It's doing great. And again, I was just talking about it. We're working with Walmart right now.
Yeah, that's awesome. So distribution deal in Walmart, and then I mean, that's giving you the confidence that it's going to work.
Yeah, especially when people start tasting it. And our faces, Josh and mine, we're going to be like holding it. And people are going to be like, oh, that's the kid off of social media. So they're going to be like, he has an energy drink, for the people that don't keep up with me on social media. So then they try it and they're like, oh, it's actually dope. Once you mix this stuff with some vodka, for all the 21 plus viewers or listeners out there, this is the best mixed drink, best chaser.
Awesome. I love it. All right, man. That's everything I had. We crushed it. We crushed through that conversation super fast.
Thank you so much, man, for having me on the podcast. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, Bryce, I appreciate it. I appreciate you and you being here. That's awesome.